The small town of Hollow Creek, not far from the town of Spooky Harbour, sat nestled in the heart of the woods, its quaint houses adorned with pumpkins and flickering lanterns, blissfully unaware of the darkness that lurked in the shadows. Thanksgiving was approaching, and the townsfolk were busy preparing for the annual feast. The air was thick with the scent of roasting turkey and the promise of warm, familial gatherings. However, among the laughter and joy, there lingered a tale whispered through generations, the legend of the harvesters. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the town, a group of friends gathered in the cosy living room of Emma's ancestral home. Emma, a young woman with a penchant for the supernatural, had invited her closest friends for a Thanksgiving Eve celebration. The fireplace crackled, casting dancing shadows on the walls, as Emma began to recount the tale of the harvesters. The story spoke of a cursed family, condemned to wander the woods in search of unsuspecting souls to satisfy an ancient hunger. Legend had it that every Thanksgiving, the harvesters would emerge from the darkness, their faces obscured by hooded cloaks, and claim the souls of those who ventured too far into the woods after nightfall. As Emma spun the tale, her friends exchanged nervous glances. They dismissed it as a simple story meant to spook, but the unease lingered in the air. The wind outside seemed to echo the howls of the harvesters, and the temperature in the room dropped. The group laughed nervously, attempting to shake off the eerie feeling that had settled upon them. Emma, determined to prove the legend wrong, suggested they venture into the woods and see for themselves. A thrill of fear coursed through the group, but they agreed, convincing themselves it was nothing more than a dare to add excitement to the holiday. Armed with flashlights and a false sense of bravado, they stepped into the darkness of the woods. The twisted branches overhead formed a canopy, casting an other-worldly glow on the forest floor. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the crunch of fallen leaves beneath their feet. As they delved deeper, the air grew colder, and the shadows seemed to elongate, reaching out like ghostly fingers. The friends exchanged uneasy glances, but none were willing to admit the growing sense of dread that clawed at their insides. Suddenly, a low hum reverberated through the air, causing the group to stop in their tracks. The wind carried with it a haunting melody, and the distant sound of laughter echoed through the trees. The harvesters were said to sing a song that lured unsuspecting souls to their doom, and the group felt an inexplicable compulsion to follow the haunting tune. As they navigated through the labyrinth of trees, the source of the melody became apparent. An ancient, dilapidated mansion emerged from the darkness. Its windows were shattered, and the ivy-covered walls seemed to sigh with an otherworldly lament. The friends hesitated at the entrance, fear clawing at their resolve. Against their better judgment, they stepped inside the mansion. The air within was heavy with the scent of decay, and the floor creaked beneath their weight. Dust hung in the air like ethereal mist, and the silence was punctuated by the distant echo of the harvester's song. As they explored the mansion's dark corridors, the friends became separated. Panic set in as each one wandered alone through the labyrinthine halls, the oppressive darkness closing in around them. Whispers echoed through the empty rooms, and fleeting shadows danced on the periphery of their vision. Emma, determined to reunite the group, followed the haunting melody to the mansion's grand hall. There, she discovered a table adorned with a feast straight out of a Thanksgiving dream: a succulent turkey, glistening cranberry sauce, and pies with golden crusts. The air was thick with the tantalizing aroma, but something was amiss. As Emma approached the table, the room plunged into darkness. The candles flickered and died, leaving her in pitch blackness. The haunting melody reached a crescendo, and a voice whispered in her ear, chilling her to the bone. "Welcome, Emma. We've been waiting for you." The room erupted in an otherworldly light, revealing the hooded figures of the harvesters surrounding the table. Their faces hidden in the shadows, they gestured for her to join them. Emma's heart pounded in her chest as she realized the true nature of the legend. In a desperate attempt to escape, she stumbled backward, but an unseen force held her in place. The harvesters' laughter echoed through the hall as they closed in, their hungry eyes fixed on her. The feast on the table transformed into a grotesque display of decay. the once tantalizing dishes now rotting and oozing with an otherworldly darkness. Emma's friends, drawn by the commotion, stumbled into the grand hall. Horror painted their faces as they witnessed the unfolding nightmare. The harvesters, faces still shrouded in darkness, advanced on the trapped group, their hunger palpable. In the midst of the chaos, a guttural chant filled the air, and the mansion seemed to come alive. The walls groaned, and the floor trembled beneath their feet. Desperation consumed the friends as they realized the mansion itself was a manifestation of the harvester's curse, a trap for unsuspecting souls. In a last-ditch effort to escape, the friends joined hands and recited a prayer of protection. The mansion quivered, and the harvesters recoiled, their ethereal forms dissipating like smoke. The oppressive darkness lifted, and the friends found themselves standing in the woods, the mansion nowhere in sight. The first light of dawn painted the horizon as the friends stumbled out of the woods, shaken and scarred by the night's events. The legend of the harvesters had proven true, and the small town of Hollow Creek would forever bear witness to the chilling tale of that Thanksgiving Eve. As the years passed, the mansion faded into local folklore, a cautionary tale told in hushed tones. The townsfolk went about their Thanksgiving celebrations, but the memory of that fateful night lingered, a reminder that even in the warmth of family and feasts, the darkness of the harvesters could stir at the edges, waiting for the unsuspecting to venture too close to the shadows.